what does philanthropy mean to you? You're just talking about it, Bill. That's why I wanted to jump in here, and you can then take us home.
Philanthropy is definitely a core value of our family and our business. And my dad always said, if New York isn't doing well, then our properties aren't doing well. And when my dad created Association for a Better New York, he went to his father and said, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to spend more time on public-private partnerships and getting involved with the city." And my grandfather said, like, "How can you do that? You got to stay focused on our business." And my dad said, "That this is our business. We have to be engaged in the community, and we have to make sure the streets are safe and the streets are clean, and that the institutions that are so important for the vibrancy of our city are strong and healthy." And so he and Jack really led the way in terms of being involved on many boards. And I sometimes scratch my head, like, how did they have the time to do that? And my kids are actively involved in several organizations, big and small and in between. And the same with my cousin, my cousins, my sister, and the rest of our family. It's really part of our DNA, and really critical for our business. We're one of the founding members of the New York City Marathon. I mean, it's just somebody came up to Jack and Lou and said, this is 1976. It was going to be one time, 5-borough race to honor the bicentennial of the United States. And somebody came and said, "We need $25,000. And my grandfather had just passed away, and they said, "Done if the trophy can be named after Sam." And every year, first it was Jack and Lou and my grandmother, then it was my generation, then it was my kids, now my grandkids give out the trophy to the winner. And it's just, it's an incredible experience. And hopefully, knock wood, we have a race this year. We had to cancel last year, but that involvement and the spirit and the joy of what happens on that Sunday in November, you can't put a value on, a price on. And that's what we try to do, is find organizations that need help early on and get involved with them and make sure that they're an integral part of our city. And my father and uncle and my grandfather were true urbanists. They believed in this city and the power of the city. My grandfather, when he built an office building, he built an apartment building because he always thought that the people working in the buildings would want to walk to work. He had operable windows, okay, in office buildings, which drove his engineers crazy. But think about that today, right? You need that fresh air to deal, with COVID. And he was always, they all three of them believed in the urban experience. My father drove him crazy when companies would move out of the city, and he would look, he would be so thrilled, all of them, with the Renaissance. And we've obviously gone through a little bit of a problem in the last year, but we're going to come back, just like we came back after 9/11, fiscal crisis, 2008, Sandy. We're going to come back better and stronger. And his tagline was always, "Never bet on New York City," or as he used to call it, his town. And they were so forward thinking in terms of, if you look at any of our real estate, there's literally either a subway stop within the building or within a few blocks, that connectivity. Our newest building, and Sam's philosophy was, if I can't get there by subway, I don't want to own it. Our new building in Brooklyn that we partner with Boston Properties is really connected 15, 20 feet to the New York City ferry system. And so it's a little bit different type of mode of transportation, but it still has that connectivity. And so, we've adapted and we're changing. And just like we start off this conversation about the strategic review, this city is always going through a strategic review and adapting diversification of its tenant base. It used to be in Lower Manhattan in the mid-90s. It was 70% financial service, 30% others. Today, it's totally opposite. It's 30% financial service and 70% TAMI, education, architecture, advertising, etc. So we have to continue to adapt and reinvent ourselves. And that's what leadership is about, in knowing how to navigate through difficult times, right? So we've gone through that. And during this period, just, to finish up, we decided to commit to, just like back in 1995 on that weekend, my cousin, myself, my kids, and our senior team, we moved forward with two major projects. Reimagining of a building in Lower Manhattan, 80 Pine Street, that was built in the late 50s, early 60s. We lost several large tenants last year. And then at 3 Times Square, where we have a major lease turnover also. And these are several $100 million of investments with new lobbies, new technology, new infrastructure, new signage for 3 Times Square. But we saw through, and we could have stopped construction on 80 Pine Street. We had already started before COVID, and there was a pause, but we kept moving forward. And we started planning 3 Times Square last year. We started the work now because we know somewhere along the line that market's going to turn around, and we want to be ready for those tenants who want to have quality space with a Rudin brand type of building, infrastructure, great locations, transportation. So we're going to keep playing it forward.